All right, so I am really excited to share with you today, and this is going to be working on yourself, you the business owner, because I had some major revelations this past year, and I'm going to share them with you and hopefully inspire and get you thinking some great things for 2020. So, push it that way. Right now, I'm 65 years old. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life and in my marriage and my business. And so I thought, well, I'm going to share that with the group today. I've been married 40 years. Last month in November, I've been married 40 years with my wife, Chris. I still get in trouble a lot, but I'm doing better. I just tell her, you're always right, dear. I'm always wrong. I'm sorry. I love you. So it works. But I read a book a year ago this time. It was, I think it was October, November, probably of 2018, called Intentional Living by John Maxwell. Just the title itself motivated me huge. It's a great book. I encourage everyone to read that book. But I really got tuned in on those two words, intentional living. When you think about intentional living and how it relates to you, what does that mean to you? Intentional living. We're going to take 2 minutes. I'm going to keep it brief. Talk at your table. Everyone share. When you think about intentional living, what does it mean to you? Go.
Yeah, and there's a limit to flexibility because you have to
Sending you to live with your dad.
Okay, we're going to focus back here. So, the past 2 years, I've had a great time with people that I've met, a great conversation. If you're ever out at lunch or dinner with anyone and you've never even met them or you're at a networking meeting, just ask them, when you think of the two words intentional living, what does that mean to you? You're going to get two main answers that I have found. One of them, they'll talk about their living right now. What is their intentional living? What is their focus right now? The second thing is they talk about their future. What's going on, what they want to be doing in the years ahead. So, intentional living really put together a sequence for me that changed some major things. Excuse me. One of the things I got out of that book, and the words that I live by, it's kind of a mantra now, intentional living. I started doing a 10-minute quiet time every day. I started that last year in November. And it's a hard discipline to do, but every day I sit down at the same time and take 10 minutes and try to shut things down. Now, when you first start, it's not easy to do because it's easy to drift off to Walmart or to Best Buy or to, I live in Webster Groves, so I go to Llewellyn's or Weber's Cafe a lot, but just sit and chill your brain. Just kind of have a visual quiet time. Just try to just shut down. We're so busy as business owners, it's important that I found to take a 10-minute time every day and just shut things down. So make sure you're in a comfortable position. I found that is huge. And just close your eyes. I usually focus on a word, one word, to just focus on that and be quiet and just try to let thoughts flow or do visualizing. Visualize what you want for your business, for your marriage, for your personal life, for everything. So that led to me. I turned 65 this year, and I thought, well, you know, John, you've been good at setting 5 and 10-year goals. I've never even thought about setting up a 30-year goal. But I want to live to be over 100 years old. So I thought, John, why not set a 30-year goal plan to take you to 95? That'll at least get you out to 95, and then when you get to 95, you can do another goal plan for where you want to go from there. Who knows? So a couple things on my 30-year plan that I've come up with. I want to work to age 80. So I've got another 15 years to work. I don't have a problem with that. I love what I do. I'm blessed to get up every day. I'm excited about what I'm doing. And I want to keep my mind sharp. I want to keep active. I want to keep doing the things I do. I look at mentors like Clint Eastwood. Love that guy. He's doing directing movies. I loved him as an actor. I love him as a director. At age 70, I set a goal. I want to do stand-up comedy. So I've given myself 5 years to craft my skills, and I'm going to be really, really good at stand-up comedy. And one of my desires, and one of my goals, I want to go into retirement homes, nursing homes, and make people laugh. Because I think that's the best medicine. I was really strategic when my mom was in Del Mar Gardens in her later part of her years before she passed away. I would go up and visit with her, and I played piano, and she loved that because all her friends would come out to the main meeting room, and I'd be playing piano, and she'd be sitting up there with the biggest smile on her face. And just going to visit my mom and seeing those people have a little bit of heart warmth and love, and that I could give them, it was great. So I think one of my lead-in intros will be if I go to the home and say to them, if I can make you pee or poop in your pants today, I will have done my job. So that's a great line. I'm going to open with that, but it will be good. I also, my wife and I are both on target with this. We want to learn fly fishing. We've talked about it, but one of our goals is to go live in Colorado for part of the summer. So in my quiet time, I have seen Chris and I fishing in a river in Colorado mountains, having the best time fly fishing. And of course, she's a better fisherman than me. She's catching all the trout, I'm not. When my wife retires in 2 years, this is really exciting for me. I have gamed and planned for us to take 4 to 6 weeks every quarter, and we have specific areas of the country we're going to go and just, I'll keep working. I can work anywhere. I just need a phone and an internet. And I'll work 3 or 4 days a week calling, and then the rest of the time we'll go out and hike and bike and play. So we're going to be going to Clarksville, Georgia, the Carolinas. That's one of our favorite areas for hiking. The trails over there are outstanding. We're going to go to Houston, Texas. We have family down there. We have connections in Vail and Avon and Telluride, Colorado. We can go stay there. And then Phoenix, Arizona has been a really good spot for us to go. My wife has some friends from high school there, and I've got some family and friends that just moved out from Chicago on my mom's side of the family, moved out and are living in Mesa, Arizona. So we've got connections. We've got a retirement center we can maybe stay a couple weeks in, real reasonable. So real excited about that. And of course, we like to bike and hike in that. We'll be able to do those areas out there. Quick story. Back in 4th or 5th grade, I was going to a day camp at the YMCA at Bermuda Road and Highway 70. It's gone now, but there was a nice YMCA with an outdoor swimming pool. I was taking swimming lessons. I was in part of a day camp. When you walk into the YMCA, which I'm still a member of, and I go to the YMCA every day, there's a plaque on the wall that points out spirit, mind, and body. So I asked my counselor one day, I said, what is that plaque on the wall? What does that mean? And counselors are great. He shared a great story. He goes, well, John, the spirit part is, you need to go to church every weekend and be involved in church. That's important for your spirit. Your mind, you want to make sure you're going to school and learning, read books, and do it the best you can at school. That's important. I go, okay. And then he said the body part is stuff like at the YMCA. You want to just exercise to keep all that working. So make sure you exercise all your life. I thought, what great wisdom to counsel with me as a 4th or 5th grader to share that story with me. But it really instilled in me about exercise and how important it is. And again, I'm dedicated to exercise, but everything has pumped up another level because intentional living and what it means. So my wife and I, we bike ride and hike all year long. We love it. I swim at the YMCA weekly, a couple times a week. We take yoga classes together. It's important to exercise, so I feel very strongly about that. Business owners, if you're not on an exercise program on the weekly schedule, I would encourage you to get on something like that. So I've also lost 20 pounds this year. In January, my son told me, Dad, I'm taking you to Burning Man in August. I need you to be in the best shape you can be in, because out there we're going to be riding a bike every day around the desert, and you need to be able to keep up with me. I go, okay. So I worked really hard. I lost about 20 pounds, and I thought, man, that was a lot of work getting it off. I don't want to put it back on. So I've worked to be very careful at night, because I think snacking at night is where I was falling off the tracks. But I've incurred that and made it better to eat better. Eat nuts and raisins, sunflower seeds, dried fruit when I'm watching TV. Another thing I adhere to really strong from Sunday night to Thursday night, I work and adhere to that 12-hour fast to give your body a rest. So at 7:30 in the evenings, I work to not eat anything after 7:30. I quit. I mean, whatever it is, I'm done by 7:30. And what that is, I saw that in Parade magazine. I know a lot of the movie stars in California, and that 12 hours gives your body rest to let your digestive system and everything do the things it needs to do to vamp you up for the next day. So I eat breakfast the next morning at 7:30. That's giving my body 12 hours of not putting anything in and making it much better. And it's helped to help me keep the weight off. So as business owners, you know, we're busy. We need to give our brain to rest, so that's important. And benefits from my 10-minute quiet time are here. So it has helped me overcome some worry and anxiety. I have the best sleep I've ever had in my life. I'm sleeping like a baby. I've achieved some greater peace and tranquility in my life. That leads to happiness. It gives me power and inner strength with my visualizing every day. I've attained great instruction for my business, my marriage, what I'm forecasting for my life the next 30 years. And I've really learned the power of visualization. Being able to visualize what you want to do, see it before you actually act it. So it's part of the external. You can't see it, but by visualizing, I also call dynamic imaging, which is a book by Norman Vincent Peale that I read every year. Great book. But visualizing what you want out of your life is huge. And in that 10-minute period, sometimes I really focus on a specific area to visualize what I'm looking for the future for my life. So the power of quiet time, it's huge. I want to challenge everyone as we look to 2020 to work to set a goal, to set aside 10 minutes every day. I do it at 1 o'clock every afternoon for 10 minutes, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I'll do it earlier in the morning, but find a specific time and get locked into it and do it every day. So, closing comments. My life has changed a lot for the better. I've really become more humble. I'm much more thankful for everything I have going on in my life, and I have a really strong attitude of gratitude. I think that's real important. It has just helped me to be happier, and by being humble and being thankful for everything you have is a great way to start your day. That's it. Any questions?
John, you want to go back to the previous slide?
Back it up.
So I'm not quite sure how you take things for granted, but I think that's a really cool idea. I know that you meant granted, right?
Granite, yeah. Did I misspell it? I was looking for someone to catch that. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Granite, you're right. Okay, good catch, Les. Thanks.
I would love to hear about your experience at Burning Man.
That's probably another 15-minute segment. That was quite an adventure. I went with my son, so that was 8 days in the desert of adventure, pure adventure.
John, two quick points. My aunt, who lives in the Seattle area, her name is Patrice Dotson. She became a stand-up comedian at the age of 80. And her routine was she would come on stage pushing a walker, okay, and it got instant laughs. And then she wrote a book on dating after 80 also. So it can be done, and I would encourage you. The other thing is just a story, you might have heard this, but George Burns told a story that at the age of 95, he was offered a 5-year contract by the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas, and he turned it down. And they asked him why, and he said, I wanted 10.
Yeah, so I think it's real important to pursue your passions. I think one of the things in my life, and I've always been the kid in grade school who was the cut up, always getting in trouble. I spent most of my 3rd grade year in the principal's office. But I have always had a great time making people laugh, and it gives me the greatest joy to have people see a smile on their face from something funny that I've said. And God gave me a very good witty brain. I'm really good at coming up with quick stuff. So improvisation I think I'm going to do well at, but I'm going to hone my craft. I have 5 years to do it. Once I'm 70, I'll be downtown with it. Thank you. Oh, another question?
John, I just want to say you're truly an inspiration. I learned from you about the 30-year plan, and I did it for myself, and it's just been amazing to work on that. And some of these routines and the relationship you have with your wife and your exercise routine and everything, it's very inspirational, so thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.